How you doing, Winders Ranger? We're back. We're doing a quick mod on the RV trailer, getting it ready for this summer's vacation. Yesterday I put in the Fantastic fan, which is up here above us in the ceiling. I wanted to actually film the installation process, but due to the heat and getting up and down on top of the roof and trying to carry camera equipment along with all the stuff that I would need to actually install it, I decided to just go ahead and put it in and try to go over some of the install process after the fact now. And we still have to wire it up. That's what the wires here hanging in the ceiling are. So we'll go over that as we finish up the project. Okay, so there's the fan. What you can see on the left hand side of the screen, those are the wires, the positive and negative 12-volt wires coming out of the actual fan body itself. And on the two corners in the back, you see the looks like white plastic hanging down. That's actually the roof material stretched out from the top of the roof, came down inside the hole where the fan would go, and the manufacturing company just stapled that to the, I guess they're probably 2x6s up in the ceiling. The problem I ran into with the 12-volt wires as they come down, they're going to eventually stretch over to the light. We pulled the light down yesterday to kind of see what we were working with, took the screws out of the light, and everything's just kind of wire nutted together there. So it'd be easy enough to attach the Fantastic fan. The issue that I had was inside the fan body, or inside the framework of the fan, that 2x6 in the back there was no access unless I pulled the ceiling down and tried to squeeze the wires between the ceiling and the 2x6, or to go ahead and get a drill bit, drill a hole and try to access that, feed the wires through, and then pull them out of the hole where the light would go, where the wires feed to the light, and then pigtail everything together with a wire nut. Of course, yesterday I didn't bring a drill bit with me, so had to go get a drill bit. Came back today to finish the job. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, try this again. It wasn't recording the last time, so we'll try to actually record it this time. We got a pigtail here, two pigtails, the positive and the negative. That was included with the fan kit. We're going to add that on to the end of these so we can run along the frame, and then back here to where we're going to drill the access hole to get to the wiring for the light. The wiring from the fan wasn't quite long enough to do that, so we have to add these on. To do that, we're going to add in a butt crimp, and all the butt crimp does is just a hole with a metal piece inside there that you can smash down, and we use our crimping tool. The crimping tool probably not going to show up here because the lighting's not so great, but there's three colors. There's red, blue, and yellow, and that corresponds to what type of butt crimp that you're going to use. In this case, the blue one, you just line that up with the blue mark. That's where it fits in the jaw, and that's where you'll squeeze it. The closer back to the hinge that you get, the more force that you can put, which is the yellow would be your bigger butt crimps. That's why you would need more leverage closer to that pivot point. The red one, of course, is your smallest butt crimp. That's why it's out further to the end. So all you're going to do, these are already pre-stripped on the end of the wire. Just feed that on. Find the butt crimp, and you want to get probably about a 1/4 of an inch or so from the end. If you get too close to the end of the butt crimp, the metal thing inside's not there. You'll actually just smash the plastic, and it's ineffective. It's not going to do anything for you. So what we'll do now is we're just going to add these to the two pigtails there on the fan, and then we'll drill the hole and we'll see if we can feed these through. Alright, so we got the hole drilled in the front piece here. What I did is I took the, ideally we'd have a hanger or something like that. We could fish through that hole and just tape the wires to it, find the hanger back here, pull everything through all at one time. But I don't have a hanger, so what I did is I taped the wires with black electrical tape, and that kind of makes them a little more stiff, a little more rigid, and it keeps them together in one piece. And the ends, since the ends are already stripped, that way the ends of the wire, it's not a solid wire, it's braided wire inside, or not braided, but stranded. So if you were just to go fish it through, those little strands are just going to finger out and they're going to grab a hold of stuff and it's going to get stuck and hung up inside in the insulation in the ceiling or whatever's behind there. So taping them together just makes it a little bit more rigid, hopefully a little easier to fish through the hole there. Okay, so we got our wire fed through. It hung up a little bit on the insulation inside, but eventually I just kept feeding it through there, and I was able to feel one of the coils as it was going past whatever it was hanging up on. I was able to grab a hold of that and pull the rest through. So now what we'll do is we would just line this up, tuck this up out of the way, and then we'll add the fascia plate or the trim plate, and we'll go ahead and hook our wires in. I think we'll go ahead and hook it up first and test it, make sure that everything is actually working the way it's supposed to before we go and button everything up, and then we find that we've got a problem that we didn't anticipate. We've got to take half of it apart to figure that out. So to do that, we'll just take the tape off. It's not going to hurt to leave the rest of that tape on there. If anything, it might benefit us down the road to leave some of that on if we need to pull that back through or something like that. Okay, so we took the wire nut off the positive side. Turns out there's just that'd be one too many wires jammed in there, so didn't really want to do it. I didn't have any bigger wire nuts with me, and I'm not going to postpone this another day. So what I did is I used these little blue. I was just asked what they were, and I don't know what the name of them is, but you feed the live wire through, and then your new wire comes in and stops. And there's a metal piece. You squeeze that down, and it basically grabs the new wire and it cuts the insulation of the existing wire, and that way you can join the power and run off in a new direction. So I used 2 of those. It got the job done. Not really how I wanted to do it, but you know, whatever. So it does work. We've got the light works now, and the fan works. So that's drawing the air out. I don't want to turn it the other way right now because it's going to blow all the sawdust and the bits from yesterday, all that's on the bed on the trash bag, it's going to blow out everywhere. So we're going to button this up. I guess what we'll do is we'll put the light in first, and then we'll put the trim around. That way we can fish the wire back up in the hole before we put the trim in. So we'll do that next. There we go. Finally got it installed.